congratulations, very proud of you. Next, Josh Wolf, come on up. With Josh tonight is Mark Duran. Mark is our science instructor and our robotics advisor. My role, again, much like the culinary, I don't eat myself through this conversation. I just ask a lot of dumb questions because what Josh is doing is phenomenal, and the accomplishments that he has earned right now are mind-boggling, and what he has in front of him as far as the future is amazing. And we sat down with him about 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, and listened to his plans, and phenomenal plans that he has to help create. I'll leave it up to these gentlemen to explain the 5 different awards that he accomplished recently, and let him explain a little bit about what he's been doing.
So, Terry, if I can just read off the 5
Sure.
items that were won, 5 first place awards at the 2012 State Science and Engineering Fair. Grand Award Gold, Minnesota Academy of Science, 3M Innovation Award, Wolfram Research Mathematics Software Award, Minnesota Academy of Science Winchell Award, and Seagate First Year Award. Now, I could read those, but you're going to tell us all about what. Right?
So let me just intro a little bit and brag on Josh so he doesn't have to do it himself. I first met Josh. I had him as a freshman last year. He's only a sophomore in my physical science class. And I got him at the semester, and we pretty quickly got into energy. And he came up and said, I was wondering if you'd like to see some of the stuff I've been working on. And, this happens from time to time, and usually it's a student showing me a motor that they created, something like that, or they've made something or built something. It's always fascinating and wonderful. And then Josh started to explain what he was doing and has been doing in his backyard, and it's pretty amazing and impressive. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Josh to let him explain some of the intricate details of what he's doing here.
Sure. Well, the whole basics of my project with the Science Fair project and what I've been trying to develop over the last year or so is that I'm actually taking algae and turning it into biodiesel fuel. So the Science Fair project that I had is what I did is I took electricity and figured out a way to specifically shock the algal cells so that they'll release an oil. I can take this oil then and add a couple of chemicals, and then it turns into biodiesel. The reason why this is so advantageous and why it has received a couple of awards is because ExxonMobil has actually invested $200 million or so into creating a plant that would make fuel from gas or fuel from algae, but the problem is that it costs about $25 a gallon. Now with these techniques that I've developed in the Science Fair project, I've reduced that down to about 96 cents a gallon.
Wow. Oh my God.
So the different awards that I got was, so I got the Grand Award, which was the first place at the Science Fair. And then I got the 3M Innovation Award. So that was just an award that 3M sponsored for the most innovative project that came along with a $500 prize. So that was very nice and helping me jumpstart some of the process that I'm trying to do now. I also got the Wolfram Research Mathematics Software Award. So what I can do is set up a program that I can detail all of my projects and put it together on a nice presentation that I will be able to present to companies for investors. And the next thing, I got the Winchell Award, where I'll actually be able to present my project at St. Olaf, and then my research will actually be published in a scientific journal. And then I got the Seagate First Year Award, which was just a project that they give out to the first year participants, because this was actually the first state science fair that I've actually done, because I stopped in 7th grade because I had gotten bronchitis and all this. There's a 7th and 8th grade was not my highlight, so I was not able to go to state. But so now I finally was able to this year and was able to present my project. So now What I've been trying to do and work with Mr. Durand on is that I'm trying to take waste oil from the schools and local restaurants and turn that into biodiesel fuel. So then what I can do is we can sell the oil and try and raise some money to help jumpstart this whole process. So I'll get this back to Mr. Durand. He can kind of tell you more about that.
So yeah, we're actually applying for grants and looking for investors and talking to angel investors to jumpstart this process and actually form a company and start producing biodiesel from algae oil. And we actually have a couple plans beyond that. And I can't take credit for the science of this. This is all Josh, and it's very impressive. And for about 3 months, at the beginning of the school year, Josh would come in every couple of weeks and explain the latest breakthrough that made the previous breakthrough unnecessary. And we may end up just selling a few of those breakthroughs that he made just as investment money to some of the big companies. So yeah, the trick is getting investors who are not trying to steal Josh's idea.
I have a 5 right here.
I'll leave you my card.
I have a pond full of algae out in my backyard.
So yeah, it's very exciting, and we're trying to get this going, and hopefully this summer we'll be able to make some things happening. We're doing a bunch of fundraisers. The robotics team, Josh is on the robotics team with me. I coach it, and we're doing a bunch of joint fundraisers together for the team and also to help Josh with his project. So.
Somebody have any questions and comments? And then we do a 5.
Yay. How did you come up with this whole idea? Like, where did this come from?
Well, it actually started off as a carbon sequestration project. I was trying to figure out how I can take... So I was trying to figure out how I can take CO2 out of the air. So I was trying to develop this idea how I can take the forests, essentially, and bring them to the cities. And algae was the most effective way of doing this, that they could remove CO2 from the air. So that was the start of it. And then I figured out that other companies are trying to make fuel out of it, so I thought I'd take a crack at that and see what I can do with that.
Wow. Wow.
I'm feeling a little inadequate.
Wow. I was going to say, how do your parents even deal with this? I mean, I'm just overwhelmingly impressed.
Thank you.
Are there things
impressed.
growing out of the bedroom, or? Yeah, there are. Awesome.
You know, when we were done, when these two gentlemen presented to us in my office about 2.5 months, 3 months ago, and we sat down with Randy Anderson, Tim Reebok, a couple other folks, and I certainly was not the smartest one in that room by any means. But when Josh left the room, we just kind of sat back and said, wow, you know, we couldn't believe what we heard. I mean, we trick kids in the building, but how can you trick algae to produce oil is phenomenal. So the accomplishments and the things that you talked about, they're true. And he presented pictures of the process of tricking algae into oil and a small scale. And then, you know, we just started thinking in greater leaps and bounds and said, well, we're proud to have him in our building and proud to have him representing Elk River High School. He's a great student. He's going to produce wonderful things. So this is alumni we got.
My daughter needs a prom date. She's a senior.
Casey, I got to say just one thing, too. We started hearing about Josh a few months ago, and I started piecing this together about who this Josh Wolf was, and then all of a sudden I realized that this Josh Wolf was the same kid who we were tracking in about 3 different areas. And the first one that we were tracking him on wasn't even related to any of the science stuff. It was related to, I met him over at Central Lutheran Church when he was there for a Martin Luther King presentation. And he was there, and he's apparently working with a gal who leads a ministry working with inner city youth, and he's bringing apparently robotics to these inner city youth. And he was quite impressed with this lady who was leading that program, and so he wanted to help her. And so when I pieced 2 and 2 together that this was the same kid, that just made it all the more impressive to me. Just thought I'd share that.
Thank you for sharing that, Jim. So, if I may just ask, I mean, we see movies all the time, like, where kids that create things like this are, you have to be really careful of their security. I mean, is that an issue for you? Is that an issue for your parents or for the school?
It's something to protect himself.
Are you talking about intellectual property?
Well, that and people stealing his idea, plus industrial espionage and people that don't want him to succeed in what he's doing for 92 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
I mean, does he have those concerns?
We do.
Yeah. I would imagine as parents you would. And I mean, is there anything that anybody has to do or can do to help him with those kind of issues?
We're working with a patent lawyer.
I'm sorry, can you?
We're working with a patent lawyer.
Oh, you're working with a patent lawyer? Okay. I'm speaking to Josh's parents who are hiding in the audience here that you can't see on TV. But yeah, you see movies all the time about this kind of stuff, and as proud as we all are of you, there is a slight bit of concern for, your safety and your welfare too, and I hope that it goes really well for you. It's just impressive.
Congratulations. And I do apologize if you already